Now, when it comes down to it, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is the greatest generational classic and generational epic ever told. We've seen stoic icons like Jonathan Joestar, soft-hearted heroes like Josuke, and determined leaders like Giorno and Jotaro. But for many longtime fans, there is one JoJo who stands above the rest in terms of sheer charisma, creativity, and narrative impact. That's right, we're talking about the greatest Joestar and the greatest JoJo Part 2. And, obviously, Part 2's main protagonist, Joseph Joestar, the man who brought a Tommy gun to a vampire fight. Yes, that Joseph Joestar. Joseph Joestar, the greatest, the GOAT, undisputed king. Today we're breaking down why Joseph is the peak of JoJo characters, and why Part 2 Battle Tendency remains an unmatched masterclass in the series. I'm your host, Anime 101. Like, share, subscribe. And I know one of my first videos, if you want to call the first video, was about why JoJo Part 2 is absolutely peak. So, let's get into it right now. To understand why Joseph is so special, you have to look at who came before him. Mr. Jonathan Joestar. He was a true gentleman. He was the kindest. He wouldn't even hurt a fly. He was noble, but in terms of personality, he was a bit static. Then came Joseph Joestar. He was loud, rude, lazy, and ready to cheat at the drop of a hat. He wasn't a hero because he was noble. He was a hero because he was human. He represented a massive tone shift for Araki. Joseph, the GOAT, the undisputed king, proved that a JoJo can be a trickster, making every fight unpredictable. He didn't just fight with someone, he fought with a psychological warfare, and with a Tommy gun, and with some grenades, and with a few things, and shot glasses, and hair, and everything else. He was so unpredictable, man. No one could even read him. Now, when it comes down to weapons, Joseph Joestar's greatest weapon wasn't his muscles. It was rage baiting and his brain. A little bit of both. Part 2 introduced mind games into, well, its big aspect. A style of combat that would eventually define the JoJo's narrative and series as a whole, long before stands were even a thing. Your next line is gimmick wasn't just a catchphrase, it was a narrative tool, and it was also him rage baiting his enemies into doing a mistake. Then he exports it. It's like, gotcha, bitch. Literally, it's like pulling the rug right under them and being like, I got plenty of tricks in the bag, fella. You're done. So yeah, whether he was using a wool hat, whether he was using his hair, other people's hair, because I remember that one in the German bunker, he's like, give me some of this hair, and just humming a wall with that shit, which is crazy. He's the ultimate underdog because he's fighting literal gods, literal Aztec deities, and he's like, bitch, we're boxing. I don't care if you're stronger than me, give me a month and I'm coming to kick your ass. And that's what makes him so great. So effing great. That's why he's the GOAT, Joseph Joestar. And now, a protagonist is only as good as their villains. Battle Tendency gave us the Pillarmen. They weren't just vampires, they were the apex predators in history. The Pillarmen provided a sense of dread that rarely felt as visceral in later parts. They were physically untouchable. This forced the story to lean into creative solutions. The rivalry between Joseph and Wamuu in particular is one of the best warrior respect arcs in anime. Gave Joseph's goofy personality a necessary grounded edge of tragedy and horror. Let's not forget Cars, the being that sought perfection. Since this thing came out in basically the 80s and early 90s, you could say that he was the first perfect cell, which made him so incredible as a villain. Like no one will ever top the Pillarmen in JoJo's. Dio can get close, Kira can get close, Poochie can get close, Funny Valentine can get close, but overall they fall short of the three mighty Pillarmen. Mamu, Eishidishi, and Kaz. Another great reason why Battle Tendency remains truly unmatched is its pacing. At only 16, 17, 18 episodes, it is lean, mean, and has zero filler. It gets right to the point. It doesn't waste your time with unnecessary shenanigans. It's not rushed like Phantom Blood. It's perfect. The action is always moving. There's no time to stop and smell the roses, only when they're training, and still, it is action-packed. Later JoJo parts can sometimes feel and suffer from the villain of the week. It's like, whew, we gotta deal with this guy now, this guy now, this guy now. Battle Tendency does not do that. It has the 4 main villains, aka the first Pillarman and the 3 real Pillarmen. But it transitions so nicely and everything. It doesn't feel like it's stagnating, and it feels fresh every single episode. Like, I've watched Battle Tendency at least 10, 15 times at this point. It's just so good. Other JoJo parts, it feels like, oh my god, I gotta sit through this episode again. Like, oh boy, like, oh no. But Battle Tendency does not suffer from that at all. The characters it introduces, Caesar, Miss Lisa, and everyone else in between, it feels fresh, it feels new, and it feels exciting. Joseph is the only JoJo that we got to see truly grow old. We see him as a brash teen, a grumpy grandfather, and a senile old man. This longevity makes us more attached to him than any other character. He's the soul of the franchise almost. Even when Jotaro became the face of the series, it was Joseph's foundation. A blend of humor, strategy, and oh my god moments that kept the series' identity intact. Joseph Joestar is the peak JoJo because he made the bizarre in the title actually mean something. He wasn't just a hero, he was an experience. Battle Tendency is a lightning in a bottle moment, where personality, stakes, and pacing perfectly align together. But hey, that's just my take. Joseph is my number 1 JoJo. Is he your number 1? Let's talk about it in the comment section down below. Anyway, what's your favorite Battle Tendency moment? Top 3 gotta be anything with Speedwagon, Tequila Joseph, and the fight against Cars at the end. Great moments. Fantastic moments. Possibly even the greatest moments in the franchise. So, what's your take? Anyway, I'm your host, Anime 101, signing out. Like, share, subscribe. Do all that good YouTube stuff.